Hello, and welcome back to this CUBE special presentation here on the 62nd floor in the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas for Google Cloud Next. I'm John Furrier, your host of theCUBE. We're here with a program Accelerating Innovation with Persistent. We've got two great guests here. Madhu Jahagirdar, who's the Vice President Cloud Technology Product at DeepHealth. Thanks for coming on, appreciate you.
Thank you.
And Kamal Puri, runs Google Cloud at Persistent. You're an AVP.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for coming on. So this is a customer segment. DeepHealth, you got the keys to the kingdom. You got the cloud, you get the product and technology, you get a lot of responsibility. We're here at Google Cloud and the announcements are pretty impressive. It's for major change over to this transformation with the cloud. It's a huge opportunity. You guys are in the middle of it. Take a minute to explain what you guys do and then we'll get into the use case.
Yeah, I think so. Before, let's say, we get into the technology aspects, I want to give a little bit of insight into what we do at DeepHealth. DeepHealth is a fully owned subsidiary of a company, RadNet. So I think so. RadNet, maybe a lot of people are aware of what it is, but still, I would like to take a couple of seconds. RadNet is one of the largest diagnostic imaging chain in the United States, and we do over 10 million scans. Across the United States. And one of the vision from our CEO, Dr. Berger, was how can we make the healthcare accessible to people and also use technology as a means to drive health and wellness across the populations what we see. And principally we are focused on imaging, but also we work with a lot of hospitals where we do JV with them to run their imaging business. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, like say, we are like a co-partners with them in the industry. But in a sense, the RadNet, sole focus is imaging as a core part, and DeepHealth is a technology arm of RadNet, what we call informatics business. So I think so, a few years back, Dr. Berger had this vision saying that we need to control our destiny in technology to drive value to our customers. So we had a lot of informatics assets what we acquired. We acquired PACS assets, we acquired our the radiology information system, which is an EMR essentially for radiology business. And also we had acquired a few AI assets in the area of mammo, area of lung, and then prostate cancer, right? So these were all the assets within the RadNet. But our CEO, Dr. Berger, saw that vision where if, let's say, technology could be an arm, which is actually helping our core business, which is imaging, which we can actually add more value to our customers and also improve care to patients. So recently, like say, a year back, they had this vision of creating an informatics arm of RadNet. So now essentially, I think so, a couple of months back, we announced to our public market that DeepHealth would be a fully separate business unit, having separate P&L. So DeepHealth is actually an informatics business where the focus is to bring in a lot of value to our customers in the area of, like say, cancer screening, precision medicine, diagnostics, and also overall healthcare. So that's kind of what we do at DeepHealth.
So you see a lot of images. So images is a big part of the multimodal AI models. I'm connecting the dots here in real time. I'm almost imagining that there's real efficiencies in there. Can you explain some of the things that's going on as AI comes in? What are some of those efficiencies? Obviously, going through all the data, scans, which is images. AI is helping there, I'm assuming. Can you give give a little bit of color commentary on some of the things you guys are doing that drives that value?
Yeah, so I think so. I'll talk about 4 trends that's happening. And one is efficiency. The other one, what we're looking at is how can we improve patient lives? That's the biggest part of our vision. And what's our vision from our CEO, Dr. Berger, or our COO, CTO, Sham Soka, right? Is that how can we improve lives of our patients? Now, in terms of how AI is helping us, so if we look at our population, there are 4 major trends what we see in the industry. One is the mammo cancer, or breast cancer, what we call. Second is the prostate cancer. Third one is lung cancer. Now you see, a lot of people smoking, and now we have vaping and all of that. We see there's a big trend in the industry where people have a lot of lung cancer. And then the you have the brain degenerative diseases that are also kind of being there. So in these areas, we actually have a lot of AI assets, and a lot of them were built on cloud native Google, right? So I'll take it point in case in terms of the breast cancer. So we have a product called the DeepHealth, and now we call it Sage Breast. So ideally, what it does it actually gives you a scoring of the potential likelihood that the patient might have actually malignant tumor or not. And today, with the lack of, let's say, radiologists in the industry, a general radiologist can use this AI and actually read it as good as an expert radiologist in mammo. Now what we're doing is, this is the efficiency, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm taking a general radiologist, I'm making it as much efficient as a radiologist trained in mammo. Huge efficiency, because otherwise, very, very few people general radiologist wants to read mammo, because it's very complex in itself. So there we are. It's
kind of an art to it too, with the experts know what to look for in the data that a general person might not know.
Yes,
so the
correct.
screening is just, you're creating essentially the ability to.
Yeah, we are assisting a radiologist to become much more efficient like an expert radiologist. That's one part of efficiency. The second part is we are actually removing when radiologists read it, they're seeing a lot of blacks. There are opportunities where they might miss something. The AI comes in handy there, but it actually can help you to not miss anything which can cause harm to patients. In fact, we have a study, probably we can share a link, but there are a lot of studies on how we are improving the breast cancer screening and efficiency of it and effectiveness of it in the industry. And probably we are the largest, by the way, in the United States to do the breast cancer screening.
I love how AI pulls forward these benefits, just saving lives, identifying, screening early detection. I mean, this is exactly what we want, a pull forward, but it's not going to go away, unlike other examples.
So one important distinction between us and probably the rest of the AI players in the market, so is the following, right? So there are a lot of AI companies building a lot of AI algorithms, but what probably they miss the mark is AI should solve end-to-end workflow problem in healthcare, not just give you algorithm. Because if I go and look at the mammo or breast cancer algorithm, you might find a dozen of them in the industry. But what RadNet has done is taken this algorithm built in-house with our experts and actually have made what we call a flagship program today called Enhanced Breast Cancer Detection. It's actually the flagship program where you can do, by the way, now in Walmart. You go to Walmart, you can go and get the screening done for $40. So, but we control end-to-end, by the way. We enroll patients. We have them come and get scanned or screened for cancer. We then use AI now to basically make sure that we are detecting the right outcomes. And then we are actually also tracking patients when they come back. So it's an end-to-end program. It's just AI is a part of it, but ideally this is what customers are looking at, of how AI is able to drive end-to-end outcome to our customers.
That also adds to a lot of value into how patients are taking advantage of these solutions and making it really cost effective, right? So that expands the reach that patients can have and get those.
I think that point is huge, and I think it's a great call out, because this gets back down to the cloud side of it in the data center, because, okay, great, you get the screen, it's a point solution in the workflow. At GDC, at NVIDIA's conference, we were there, one thing that became clear to the world at that point is that if you have the horsepower and then you have all this resource, call it cloud, you now can then bring workflows and data to that workflow end to end and do all kinds of things, build a custom, maybe even custom silicon, because maybe you have images that require a certain kind of SLA for compute and horsepower. So you're starting to see this end-to-end workflow not be a one-off, but a standard in AI.
Yeah, and also the other case, also I'll tell you in terms of a real practical use case of how Google, assets are actually very pivotal in this transformation. So if you take RadNet or DeepHealth, as an informatics arm, so we have a lot of our assets in the data center, right? And moving all of these images to the cloud, is an exercise that we have to do. Now, But in terms of the business outcomes, we have to do it immediately. So what it means is that if I have to run a business operation with this concept, what I just said for the screening, we might not have an opportunity like to move all the data to the cloud first and then you do all of this, right? It is about how you connect cloud and on-prem together so that we can drive an outcome as we transform to cloud. It's not like I want to go to cloud and then transform. It's about how I can transform to go to cloud but still being on-prem. Yeah. So Google has lots of say assets like Google Anthos or other assets through which I can connect both on-prem and cloud and still can drive the efficiencies. Because especially for, let's say, mammal cancer screening, what you do is you take a current image. Also, you can look at the 5 prior images. At least in Radiology, that's what we do. So let's say if I today go to cloud, I want to get my 5 priors, they're on-prem. Now, if the expectation is that I want to move all those images to cloud, it might be a not practical thing. But Google now provides ability using Google Kubernetes Enterprise Edition to basically connect on-prem Kubernetes and cloud Kubernetes, and then drive the same outcome regardless of where the data is, which is kind of a nice.
So they got the hybrid and multi-cloud,
correct?
And as a key point, but I got to ask about DevSecOps. So SecOps security, obviously confidential. I mean, healthcare, you got to maintain security. Can you talk about the DevSecOps automation piece of this? How does that work? What's Google bringing anything to the table there?
So I think so. Maybe Kamal can add to it, but I'll tell you the importance of cybersecurity, right? So I think so. Recently in our industry, we have seen a few incidents, because of which, in fact, a lot of insurance claims were held up because of the recent incident that happened in the healthcare. So and also, especially in the healthcare segment, where the customer is still transforming, the talent to secure infrastructure assets is probably one of the most challenging feat.
They're probably afraid of ransomware too. I mean, tons of ransomware attacks.
Correct. So cybersecurity on cloud is an essential component of how we can succeed in cloud, right? And Kamal can add in terms of the assets what we're using in Google Cloud, but we are working with our ISVs to actually transform that as well.
And the same thing applies here, right? So we want to not just take security for one cloud, we want to expand it to all the clouds that we are operating in, take the best of the breed, whether it is a model from working on Azure or Google Cloud or on-prem on a data center. We want to have a same security posture across the board, making sure all our healthcare data, all PHIs is safeguarded, and we are compliant with all the
and Google does a good job on that.
Google has great products, which is now expanding to all the clouds.
Yeah. And you got all the announcements here. Google Next, obviously, going to be more generative AI embedded in. All right, cool. So I want to get into the DeepHealth. Fascinated by the innovation strategy you just laid out. That's really compelling. You got a cloud-native environment. Okay, you mentioned Kubernetes. We'll have Hen Goldberg on theCUBE tomorrow. You have this clinical AI operating model. Can you explain how that's working and where you're going to take it?
Yeah. So I think so. Maybe I'll set to the base for it before I go to clinical AI. So what we're doing in DeepHealth, we're building what we call an operating system for radiology. We call DeepHealth OS. Essentially, what it is a platform or ecosystem through which we're able to drive some of the efficiency to all of our end user base. For example, today, take an example of radiologist. Radiologist uses viewers, they use PACS, they use different tools to actually read a particular image. And actually, these are sold by multiple vendors, by the way. Viewer is by different vendor, advanced imaging is by different vendor, PACS is by different vendor, AI is from different vendor. I mean, if you name it, a radiologist uses 5 or 6 different vendors to actually read a particular image to get to an outcome, clinical outcome. Now, same with the technologist who actually scans you. He uses another, say, dozen tools to actually scan a patient. Now, you have a front desk who also uses a dozen technologists to actually schedule a patient. And same thing, after the patient goes
These
home.
silos are just ridiculous.
So what we're doing here is that we are saying that, hey, customers and users, we at DeepHealth, we want to transform that particular, area, where we are saying that you don't need 20 different tools. We'll give you one backbone on which you'll get one user experience to be able to drive an outcome. For a radiologist, he will have access to all of his AI, all of his viewer, all of the advanced imaging, all of the work list under one platform called Diagnostic Workspace, which is built on top of this DeepHealth OS. Same thing for technologists who's scanning patient. You want remote connectivity. You want to scan a patient effectively.
Yeah.
You want to, like, say, make sure that the patient patient engagement is there for him. It comes all under one platform called Technology Workspace, right? So
all cloud-based.
all fully cloud-based. And cloud-based, but of course we're working hybrid because of the transition.
Because the workflows are there, the machines are on the edge.
So the way we're doing it is we're actually using Anthos as a means to connect our on-prem, and then we're using GraphQL as one of the technology engine to API our on-prem, like say, a database. And I'm connecting and building a new workflows now, without actually migrating stuff to cloud yet. But eventually,
what are you using on-premise? Graph what?
So GraphQL.
GraphQL, yeah. So it's lightweight, high-performant, works well with the cloud.
Exactly.
Yeah, good edge use case here.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the DeepHealth OS essentially is, like, say, an ecosystem on which we're building all of the workspaces to drive now radiologist efficiency, clinical outcome for radiologists, efficiency for technologists, and also for front desk, contact center, and all of that. So ideally, this becomes a one-stop shop for entire radiology business.
What's the ease of use on their side? Give me a taste of what it's like on their side. What's changed now? Sounds like the back end's nice. Congratulations, good job, guys. Now, the user, they got a device, they got patients coming in, they're probably concerned, they want to make sure that they get detection, if there's a cancer.
I'll give you a specific use case. So for example, let's assume that you go in for stomach pain. So a technologist is scanning you, and he finds something which is not normal, right? So typically what happens is when you are getting scanned, you basically have to get what we call order from a physician, and it has set up protocols that you need to use to scan a patient. But now a technologist has found something which is, he feels that it's not normal. So you need to now call up a radiologist to say that, hey, you want to add even more sequences to it so that I can get a better shot, a better image of the patient. So typically in this scenario, let's say pre-OS, what we're building, it just will literally, they have to make a call to support, they call radiologist then doesn't know what is happening.
He might, if they can get a hold of him.
Exactly.
One.
Yeah, and then if they're basically on-site radiologists within the hospital, then they can come in and look at it. But that is basically lots of moving around things. Now take a look, let's look at OS, how we can solve it. Let's assume a technologist is basically find something which is, he doesn't feel something is right. He can click a phone button. I need to actually give you a first available radiologist. He can click a button. He can call radiologist. Radiologist will pick up a call. Green, yellow indicators are there for him to know they are there or not. And then radiologist, when he calls the technologist, he can remotely see entire scanning process that is happening with the full view of patient.
And the previous scans.
Yes, all of them in one click, by the way.
Yeah. So it's instantly up to speed. You get real-time response.
Yep. And no recalls, no repeats. Because imagine this, you have to send a patient back. I can bring him back again to scan it.
So the user experience is phenomenal.
More than user experience, the patient engagement.
Patient experience.
What happens to patient that he's fully taken care on the table, not something that he goes back home and comes back.
Or go out, wait, goes right back, get another picture.
Yes, exactly.
All the cycle times involved, the waste and cost too on the facility.
Yes.
All right. So now all the scans go into the cloud.
Yes.
And that's where everything happens. Great. So you got a great solution.
Yeah, and the user experience is the same across the product.
Why isn't everyone doing this?
Yeah, the reason is because, like say, there are
bureaucracy.
No, it's a good question. I mean, there are startups, like we feel that we are a startup. Startups are the one who have the DNA to basically go and say, this is not how I look at it. This is how you change your perspective. And we are, I think so, the trailblazers and building one stack for the entire radiology. That's why we call DeepHealth OS a radiology operating system.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of customers.
Just to your point, by the way, just for our other conversation, the end-to-end workloads play in here. Because you look at it as an end-to-end workload, you can innovate the entire process and make those claims and deliver them.
And on top of it, it's just not a technology play. RadNet runs imaging business.
Yeah.
Imagine now I can bring in surveys capability to deliver that. For example, if I would today go to, let's say, an imaging chain, which is beyond RadNet, and say I can offer you mammo screening, turnkey, with technology, with people, with services, with clinical discipline. They'll love it.
Yeah, I mean, lock-in is not about bad for the customer because the lock-in's a success because it's so good
Yes.
that the switching cost, why would I switch to a worse solution?
Correct.
And there's more images, and that's the business they're in.
And
It's a very sticky solution.
Yeah, and it will be turnkey in the sense that if you want to buy a certain specific piece of the product, you can buy it. Now you can upgrade your subscription to other part of the products. So we sell different offerings, but ideally, people can upgrade whenever they want, at their like, because it's cloud native. It becomes easier for them to do it.
And because we are touching almost all part of patient interaction, the whole end-to-end modernization becomes really key, whether it is on the web, on the phone, everything is in a single platform, a turnkey solution.
Paul, this is a great example of how you guys are adding value and how innovators can innovate with Google Cloud. Quickly, before we end the segment, talk about the Google relationship with Persistence. This is the kind of transformation and change management and innovation strategy, frankly, that people are looking at. Complete rethinking of how they approach the market, end-to-end, data, workflows, intellectual property, their business model, advancements as well. So, I mean, across the board innovation. This is all enabled by what you guys do with Google. Take a minute to explain the relationship.
Yeah, so for Google and even for the other Google cloud providers, whether it is Microsoft or AWS, we have deep partnership with all of them, working directly with their product owners. We know what products are coming up down the line for 2024, 2025. How does that impact our customers, and how can we bring all of that to the table as a turnkey solution to accelerate the transformation that our customers are thinking about, and that's what we're doing here with DeepHealth.
Madhu, congratulations on a great product and operating system and solution. It's changing lives, certainly. It's a game changer, and people, they get one early detection,
That's their life.
You bring expertise down to the democratized level. You walk into Walmart, okay, it's turnkey. Next thing you know, you got results. If you don't have that, you have to then come in, you got to get your health. I mean, just so much benefit to society.
I would say this was vision of our, let's say, CEO, Dr. Howard Berger, and also our vision of our CEO and CTO, Shyam Soka. I think so they put up this vision of let's simplify things for our end users, of our, let's say, customers, of our operators. And let's take care of these things for them where they can focus on improving patient life. And then we are here with partners and Google to kind of innovate and bring that value to our customers.
That's good business.
Yep.
Good job, guys. Madhu, thanks so much. Kamal, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
You're watching theCUBE here. Special presentation. I'm John Furrier. Thanks for watching.